Reddit filed for an IPO under the ticker symbol RDDT. The company is late to the party after several IPOs of OG social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Snap, and Pinterest.
Reddit is targeting a valuation of up to $6.5 billion, which is a big haircut from its 2021 funding round of $10 billion. This IPO involves some unusual surprises that we'll cover in this video.
We're going to break down the company's S1. It's the ultimate document published before an IPO.
It includes everything investors must know about the business, and it's hundreds of pages long. So we spent hours reviewing this document so you don't have to.
Together in the next few minutes, we're about to uncover Reddit's history, its business model, financials, spotlight key risks, the management team, and its growth strategy. And we'll even give you our take on the IPO as an investment. So stick around. Hey there, I'm Stephanie, tech veteran, engineer, and creator.
And I'm Bertrand, founder of App Economy Insights.
Reddit was launched in 2005 by Steve Huffman on the left and Alexis Ohanian on the right, who's, by the way, also the husband of tennis legend Serena Williams.
Y Combinator initially funded the startup, but it also raised money from an impressive list of investors like Andreessen Horowitz, Tencent, and even rapper Snoop Dogg. Paul Graham called Reddit the front page of the internet. Huffman and Ohanian sold Reddit to media company Condé Nast for reported $10 to $20 million in 2006. Condé Nast spun it off in 2011. Steve Huffman remained CEO until 2009 before taking a break, and he returned as CEO in 2015 following the resignation of Ellen Pao after a significant backlash during her tenure.
So, how does Reddit work? Well, anonymous users discuss any topic on Reddit, from theories on the latest TV shows to makeup tips. And the site has many unique features.
Well, first we have subreddits. On Reddit, you join communities and you follow your interests instead of following people. Volunteers moderate these communities. Each community has a unique r/name. For example, one of my favorite subreddits is r/cat standing up.
Pretty cute. Well, users can upvote or downvote posts and comments, making the most popular or helpful content crawl to the top. Reddit gives users virtual internet points called karma whenever they get upvotes, unlocking the right to post in some communities. Let's
review some key numbers. In 2023, Reddit had 100,000 active communities, 73 million daily active unique users, up 27% year over year, and they had 267 million weekly active unique users, up 29% year over year.
Reddit popularized the Ask Me Anything format, or AMA for short. Reddit's AMAs have attracted various public figures from Barack Obama to Bill Gates, and significantly contributing to the format's popularity.
In 2021, the subreddit Wall Street Bets drove a short squeeze on stocks like GameStop, inflicting heavy losses on hedge funds and highlighting the influence of online communities in shaping financial markets.
So, who are the Redditors? Well, this chart shows the overlap between Reddit and other major social platforms according to ComScore.
Twitch has an 87% overlap with Reddit. It makes sense. Reddit has long been a popular destination for gamers seeking tips and discussions. Many communities on Reddit focus on specific games and the broader gaming culture.
Snapchat has a 73% overlap, and this suggests that Reddit has a young audience. In contrast, Facebook, which has an older audience, has only a 32% overlap.
Okay, so how does Reddit make money? Advertising makes up almost all of Reddit's revenue today. Like Meta, Snap, or Pinterest, it's determined by users and the average revenue per user. Reddit breaks down users who have logged into a Reddit account and those who haven't. It can prove challenging for Reddit to measure visits of users who are not logged in. They rely on third-party services like Google's accelerated mobile page.
Reddit counted 73 million daily active uniques at the end of 2023. For context, that's 3% of Facebook's daily users, 18% of Snap's, and roughly a quarter of Twitter the last time that they reported their users as a public company in 2022.
So here's a fun detail in the S1. External factors influence traffic to Reddit, such as the meme stock mania that we just mentioned from Wall Street Bets in Q1 2021, or the release of video game Elden Ring in Q1 2022, and you can spot the bumps in the chart. By the way, I worked on Elden Ring when I was at Bandai Namco, and I'm still amazed at how well the game performed.
The average revenue per unique users, or ARPU for short, was $3.42 in Q4 FY23, down 2% year over year. The decline was driven by a higher number of logged out users, which tend to monetize less than the logged in users. For context, Facebook's ARPU was over $13 in Q4 FY23. Reddit's ARPU is relatively low and similar to Snapchat. And that's not good news for Reddit when you look at Snap's performance as a public company. Snap has yet to turn a profit even at an annual revenue run rate of nearly $5 billion in FY23.
It's tempting to draw parallels between Reddit and Twitter when it was still a public company. Many users visit Reddit to grab some information and leave quickly. This portion of the audience monetizes very poorly. Twitter used to report its monetizable daily active users, or MDAU, defined as the number of logged accounts identified by Twitter that could show ads. Twitter has struggled, posting a net loss even while making $5 billion in revenue in 2021. So really doesn't bode well for Reddit.
Well, beyond advertising, another growing initiative is data licensing. Reddit's broad conversation data is valuable. Data API access includes customers who pay to access real-time data streams of anonymous discussion on Reddit, unlocking trends and behavioral analysis. There's also AI model training. Management expects Reddit to play an essential role in training future AI models. That's why the company restricts commercial use of its content without consent.
And finally, we have the user economy. This initiative is still in its early days. Management wants to empower the creator economy within Reddit, including new monetization, a contributor program, and a community marketplace.
Let's dive into the numbers. The S1 discloses the performance for 2023, so we'll focus on that. Revenue grew 21% year over year to $804 million. This growth is encouraging considering Snap was flat and Pinterest grew by only 9% year over year over the same period. Advertising revenue was 98% of overall revenue.
So the rest of the revenue is still a tiny portion of the business, growing at 8% year over year. This segment will quadruple in FY24 with at least 66 million expected from existing contracts and 200 million within the next 3 years. I would expect the segment around data licensing to be very high margin. 81% of the revenue came from the US.
Right, and gross margin was high at 86%, putting Reddit slightly higher than Pinterest and Meta. Advertising is a high margin business to begin with, but Reddit appears to have lower hosting costs, likely as a result of a lot of the content still being text-based.
Reddit's operating loss was $140 million in FY23, and management expects expenses to increase in future periods to expand the user base and develop new products. The company used $75 million in cash from operations in 2023, only a marginal improvement compared to FY22. So in short, Reddit is burning a ton of cash annually. The company had over $1.2 billion in cash and short-term investments on its balance sheet at the end of 2023 and no long-term debt. So it's a stellar balance sheet and it will improve even more with the cash raised from the IPO. But remember, there is so much cash on Reddit's balance sheet because they raised this money from investors, not as a result of a cash flow generating business. Before we move on, if you like this video, yes, we are going to ask, smash that subscribe button and like this video.
Yes, and it might not seem like much, but it really helps our videos be discovered for us to keep bringing you more content around tech, business, and investing.
So what are the things that keep Reddit up at night? Reddit faced criticism for its early reluctance to moderate, leading to misinformation spread during the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing. The platform has been hosting racist and misogynistic content in niche subreddits.
A shift towards stricter moderation policies may be needed to appeal to more advertisers, but it could also go against some of the platform's DNA, making any compromise a trade-off.
Reddit is not the only place to find communities. Meta, YouTube, TikTok, X, Snap, Pinterest, Roblox, Discord, and Twitch all pursue similar goals around user economy and contributor programs.
Reddit relies on its Redditors for moderation. This approach requires volunteers to be sufficiently active to avoid coordinated spam or abuse. Following changes to Reddit's API policies in 2023, some communities shut down in protest. While the impact has been somewhat limited in the past, this is a clear single point of failure.
And in 2021, the price and trading volume of stocks like GameSpot or AMC and other meme stocks were extremely volatile. So, management is warning potential investors in the S1 that Reddit could be the next target of communities like Wall Street Bets. You better hope the Redditors have diamond hands if you are a shareholder.
Now let's talk about the leadership. Steve Huffman returned as CEO in 2015. Jennifer Wong is the COO since 2018. She was COO and president of digital at Time Inc. from 2016 to 2018.
Including stock awards and options, Huffman's compensation package for 2023 was worth $193 million, and Wong's total comp was $93 million. For context, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella made $48 million last year. So does this all sound reasonable to you? Some Redditors are pretty upset. And we're talking about a business that's still unprofitable and burns a ton of cash.
Reddit wants to align Redditors with its success. In an IPO, only institutional investors and wealthy individuals can secure an investment at the IPO price. The stock price often sees a first-day surge, and individual investors don't get to invest until after this first-day bump. To alleviate this, management said they'll make a portion of Reddit's shares available to its most loyal Redditors at the IPO price before the general public, if they are interested. Moderators and users with a high karma score will have priority. The goal? Appeal to the user base and create a sense of ownership among Redditors. It would incentivize the most active users to root for the platform's success, and it could alleviate the risk of adversarial communities.
Of course, this could backfire if the company and the stock underperform. In 2021, Reddit raised $250 million at a $6 billion valuation, and then $410 million at a $10 billion plus valuation. On the cap table, we have Advanced Publications, the parent company of Condé Nast, with a 30% stake, then Tencent at an 11% stake, and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman with a 9% stake. So what will Reddit do with the money raised in this IPO? Well, mostly general corporate purpose and potentially invest in complementary technology. They also need to, well, settle the tax bills tied to the stock rewards they've generously showered their execs with.
Reddit's growth strategy is a mix of awareness, more users, and engagement, higher ARPU.
Search engine optimization and partnerships are critical for awareness. Reddit wants to improve its off-platform presence for easier content sharing and embedding.
For engagement, management wants to use machine learning for content classification and interest-based recommendations. They want to focus on video, kind of like everyone else.
Management also wants to simplify basic features like posting, finding communities, and moderation.
Growth beyond the US will be an area of focus, particularly in the UK, France, Spain, Germany, Brazil, and India. Management sees potential in data licensing in the AI supercycle as well. This segment will grow significantly in the next 3 years and could really make a big difference in the company's margin profile. It could also be a critical narrative for the stock.
There's also the e-commerce opportunity, though it remains to be seen if it can move the needle. For example, Pinterest has seen relatively muted success in this area. So there is a popular saying on Wall Street, which is IPO means initial public offering, but it also means it's probably overpriced, term attributed to Ken Fisher.
The data seems to confirm it. Phil McIntosh of the NASDAQ Economic Research found that 3 years after going public, almost 2/3 of IPOs between 2010 and 2020 underperformed the S&P 500 by more than 10%. It's in the underwriter's interest to make sure the shares trade at the highest price, so there's rarely a reason to rush in.
I don't invest in brand new IPOs during the first 6 months. Why? Shares often bottom around the tail end of the lockup period as selling pressure comes from insiders. It's also critical to gain insight from the first few quarters to form an opinion about the management team. Do they forecast conservatively? Do they consistently beat their guidance? If not, it might be a sign that they are running out of steam and may have embellished their prospect in the S1. But we need a few quarters to really get a sense of the dynamic at play.
Remember, Reddit has yet to turn a profit and looks so similar to Snap, a stock that has dramatically underperformed since its IPO. In addition, moderation issues on the platform could get worse with the company public.
Right, so in short, this could be a hot mess. The stock could live or die based on Reddit's power users. And you know, Reddit is where memes are born, and RDDT is supposed to be a meme stock.